New Rivers Press was founded by a man named Bill Truesdale in 1968. He wanted to publish new poetry by young writers. He started it in New York State in an old barn using a manual press. After a few years, started publishing fiction as well as poetry, and then moved to Minneapolis because Minnesota has a reputation as a good state for nonprofit presses. There are various foundations that are very generous in supporting such presses. So by 2001, when Bill died and the press went into suspension, it had published over 300 books in all genres, and it was probably best known for its MVP, or Minnesota Voices project, which began in 1981. They would publish 5 or 6 books every year, fiction, poetry, and nonfiction. And the press was also known for its anthologies. And then in 2001, Bill was sick. He died that year. And his executive editor, Phyllis Gendro, also died. So the press, they had a board of directors by that time, but it went into suspension and had 2 possibilities. The first possibility was to go out of business and to donate all their archives to the University of Minnesota, which has a small press library. The second option was to find partnership with some other entity. And there were 3 or 4 groups who put in proposals with New Rivers Press, and those of us at MSUM, Minnesota State University Moorhead, were the ones who convinced the press that Minnesota State would be the best place to bring the press. We agreed that we would publish any books they had already accepted before choosing our own books, and that we would continue Bill Truesdale's legacy of publishing primarily new and emerging writers, first and second books by writers in all genres, with an emphasis on the Midwest. And we've continued to do that since 2001. Our other mission, now that we're at the university, is to be a teaching press, and we work with students in many areas of the curriculum. Students can get a certificate in publishing. They can design books. They can serve on book teams and help to edit books. They can even put faculty and staff who work with New Rivers in front of cameras and interview us as part of their projects.
I'm Donna Carlson, and I'm the managing editor of New Rivers Press. I keep the office going, but I also maintain deadlines along with Al and Wayne and Tom when Al is not around. And I deal a lot with the authors. I have a real close contact with the authors, especially as we near publication and the editing process gets more intense. I supervise the student interns. We're a small staff, and so we can't supervise a lot of interns, and we generally, well, over the course of a year, we would probably have maybe probably 20 interns, but then we also have classes that work with us. So professors will assign projects that relate to New Rivers Press, and then entire classes will do projects for us. New Rivers Press is one of only 2 presses that offer undergraduate degrees of some sort. Ours is not really a degree, it's a certificate in publishing. But it is some form of recognition for undergraduate work done in publishing. Having New Rivers Press as a teaching press benefits the students a whole lot. Well, it benefits everybody, really. But it benefits the students because it affords them the hands-on opportunity that they couldn't get otherwise.
You keep sending me questions, because she had a ton of questions, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And so that basically made me the go-between kind of Donna and Al and the author. But it did immensely brought me into the process.
When you take courses, it's just like the Intro to Publishing course that I teach. When you take the course, things are in the abstract. And then once in that class, we do a field trip to the cities, and we visit places that are publishing books, that are printing books, that are designing books. And then everything becomes more real. And I think that's what happens with New Rivers Press. Everything that the students are studying in the abstract becomes a reality. And it is no longer just a course that they're taking. Everything that they do for the press goes out nationally. And it's very important that they treat it as, they treat us as clients, and they treat the product as a professional product rather than as a class project.
It's been a fabulous thing for MSUM. It's a great selling point for our institution, and I am really excited about it because the most important thing is that it provides lots of opportunities for our students. Most of us, all of us standing here, the old folks, came through an educational system where we went to the classroom, we read our books, and we eventually got a degree and went out into the working world and earned through the school, earned our way through the school of hard knocks, kind of fly by the seat of your pants situation.
How did you come up with the idea?
Actually, I was doing a photography class, intro to photography. So we were just walking around Fargo Moorhead and taking different shots.
And what made you think of this as the cover, or
Just the kind of the setting and, I don't know, kind of the mood that I got when I was reading the poems.
Really good experience just to have something published, just to show that you went through, the process of, doing something for somebody else, because so much of our projects in the art program right now are for ourselves. And so it's obviously a lot easier to please ourselves than, going with somebody else or working with somebody else. And then also just showing, that we can meet real deadlines and that we went, through that process.
I would most definitely recommend it to anybody if they have the opportunity to. It's a great way to be able to meet and to work with clients to gain that experience of having to formally present your work to people and have them pick and choose what you like or what they like and what works and what doesn't. Because in class so many times you're so often we're supposed to formally present it, but we just kind of, here it is, hold it up. But this you have to, mount it on mat board and really try to sell it and to people that maybe don't know design as much, where in the classroom you're with designers. I guess you could say we understand each other more. So it's a really great experience, and then it's just great to see your work, published.
You have the opportunity to go through the professional process of developing and producing a book from start to finish. And when you get out there and you're looking for a job, that will be a huge leg up for you in terms of your career opportunities.
What we do every year is, if we have, say, 5 books we're going to publish, then we assign 2 or 3 students to each book, and we call those students a book team. And they take the book through the editorial process, substantive editing, copy editing, proofreading. And one of those 3 students from each team becomes the contact person, and that student is responsible for working with the author. That student will show the author the cover of the book, the design, and see if the author is satisfied with it. If we have any questions, all the questions will get siphoned through that student. We've been on campus since 2001, and we've started publishing books again in 2003. We publish 4 to 6 books every fall. Originally, New Rivers Press published books every fall and every spring, maybe up to 15 or 20 books a year. And now that we're a teaching press, we've tried to dovetail our publishing schedule with the curriculum. First of all, it makes it more affordable to survive. A lot of small presses have gone under. New Rivers Press would have gone under had they not found this kind of partnership. Second, it teaches a new generation of people how to do the things that have to be done if we're going to continue to produce the kind of literature that the major publishers are no longer interested in publishing. It gives students a chance to find out about publishing so that when they graduate from MSUM, they have an internship with New Rivers under their belts, and they have some experience and an understanding and overview of the entire small press publishing field.